Greetings to all my artists and fellow creatives. Welcome to another week where I am sitting in front of this backdrop and doodling. I'm going to do a full spread today in my visual journal. You guys have been hearing a lot about my visual journal lately. This one is just a random sketchbook with not great paper on the inside, but we are combining lettering and oil pastel and watercolor for a fun just bundle of experimentation and play. I have a couple of paintings since in a recent video I showed you guys how I came from a line of painters and artists. This one was done by my mom in acrylic, and it's just really juicy and fun, and I love that it's radishes. I love the shadow. I love the blue backdrop and the color of the blue with the red. Chef's kiss. And then a vase of flowers that my grandma did in 1970, says on the back. Marie Keeter, 1970. And so anyway, we're gonna draw inspiration from these two paintings for a full visual journal spread. And to get it like kicked off, I always start with my layout and I do it in pencil first, very lightly. It usually adjusts a lot, like I usually move stuff around, but it's just helpful to place the big hero elements down in pencil first. So I'll place my radishes and then the vase, and then I'll probably throw in some other things that make me think of my grandma Marie. She had tons of antiques in her house. She was a little bit of a hoarder, to be honest. But she had really cool, like just those wooden antique chairs that just always remind me of grandma. So I'm gonna draw a couple of chairs, the radish painting, and we'll do the vase of flowers as our main three hero elements. And then I like to plug in lettering and quotes that I've been thinking of, or maybe that remind me of my family or whatever. And we'll just see where the breeze blows, you know? We'll see where it blows. So here we go. So the pencil I'm using is just a 6H pencil. I prefer HB or, 2B, something a little bit softer usually, but this is what I got. I've been in a suitcase for literally 4 months. So, we use what we can. And I'm just putting in the outlines of where my radishes will go, and sketching as lightly as possible. And these aren't gonna be the same style that my mom painted in, but they'll be similar. And I'm gonna use a mix of watercolor and probably oil pastel, because I just really like that look. And for my circles, I have them, obviously a couple of them are on top, so we have the full circle showing. And then we'll do a little shadow stuff, little root situation. Okay, there's that. Maybe put the vase over here. Start with the bottom of the vase as an oval circular shape. And it comes like so. And then we'll have a little shadow. The more playful, the better, in my opinion. So just lightly sketching where I might place some flowers. But again, everything's gonna change. Just rule of thumb. So we've got 2 heroes zigzagging. Our third hero was gonna be chairs. Cuties. I'm all for wobbly lines in this style of illustrating. It just feels more fun, more playful. So I'm not trying to perfect my lines. Just as long as it looks like a chair, we're good. And this is gonna be brown with maybe a black outline. We'll see where that ends up taking us. Really short legs. I'll do some shadow down there and maybe another chair. Or maybe not. So many butters. We just released 2 butterflies yesterday from the nursery that my mom keeps for raising monarchs. 2 babies hatched yesterday, and they just kind of hang out while they dry for a few hours. Really cute. Dude, so crazy that a caterpillar just becomes a butterfly.
Yes.
That's so crazy. Or a tadpole becomes a frog. Like something that has no idea oxygen exists,
Yes.
then all of a sudden is out of water. This is so crazy.
I'm trying to describe that to a kid.
Dude. Yeah, the caterpillar just kind of like melts and dissolves and then it comes out with wings.
Doesn't make sense.
Freaking nuts.
But it's also like, you as a baby did the same thing.
Yeah. You were blobs of juices.
Breathed
And
your
then,
birth.
and then you had bones and skin
Yeah.
and blood pumping. So nuts. So I've got my round Heritage 4050 size 6 brush. I'm gonna leave a little bit of white space. I'm using an orangey red and using wet and wet technique. If you watch my YouTube videos where I paint circles, I have quite a few of those. This is exactly what I'm doing, the same technique. Pointing my brush straight up and down, swirling, and then using the side of the brush to fill in. Go right up against that one, use more water for the one that it's next to, and let that bleed. Grab more pigment. And then I'll use colored pencil or oil pastel to carve those out even more once that dries. With these cheaper watercolors, I need to kind of massage and work it in a little bit better. But a lot of this is going to get covered with more detail with the oil pastel. Then we'll do pale green first. Just kind of make it really loose. Start to add in darker greens. Fill it in there. Go off the page. Once again, we're gonna add oil pastel and maybe colored pencil. I like to even take the tip of my brush and do these like, I'm a fluffy cloud things.
Or a leaf.
I'm a fluffy cloud, or yeah, leaf. Obviously it's a leaf. Duh. Oil pastel, blue. Because I really like the way my mom did the background, where it's like strokey. You can see the individual strokes, and that's what I love about oil pastel too, is how textured it is. So we're just gonna scribbly doodah. And I'm not waiting for this to be dry. I'm just going for it. Scribble, scribble. And I'm changing my angle of all my The wind chimes are nice though. Ambiance. I'm changing the angle of all my scribbles too, because again, I want it to show all of my individual like strokes. Like this is hand done. This was not made by AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fight the power.
Are those the shadows?
These are this is the background. I'm gonna do showers. Shadows after. Showers. Might even shower them. I'm gonna add in a little bit of light blue in there. That's not showing at all for some reason. It's really shaking up the table. Oh, dark blue would be nice too. So this is our radish square. Dark blue, where are you? Ooh, this would be a nice shadow color. Outline the square. And then we need a white scribble for the little whatever's tail. Radish tail. That we will then add a touch of this peach. So it's not just a stark white, maybe a little bit of brown. Voila. And then we get some reds.
How often are you looking at that?
I've looked at it 2 or 3 times. Yeah. Mostly for like where to place them, but then just kind of rolling with the where the breeze is blowing, yeah. Colors, inspo, and layout inspo, and then just rolling with it. Oh, thanks. Blending in some light peachy pink on top with this dark red so that we get a little bit more blending. Action. But just choosing the side I want the shadows to be on, which is the left. And so having more of my shadow on the left side and then it fading to show that ball shape. Radishes. I also want to take artistic license a little bit and add a little bit of this creamy mint seafoam stuff. We'll do that up in there. Just little hits of that. Boop, boop, boop. If I get a feeling or an impulse to do something, I do it because it's my sketchbook and there's no pressure. And then sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. If I don't like it, I don't care. I don't judge my impulse to be creative. Are you kidding me? That's where the magic happens. And then we'll add brown to the shadow, just on the edge, bottom edge of that radish. Make it feel more shadowy. And we'll follow these little squirts. What are they called? Tails. Roots. Green. Zhuzh, 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 zhuzh. Find the leaf shape. Pull it out.
Go hunting.
Just go find it. Go hunt for that leaf shape. Pull it out, and if, you know, you really can't mess this up though. Like, I'm just doing lines and squiggles. And just the only way to mess it up is if you do too much. Overdoing. So stop when you're at like 60 to 70%, or you think you are, and then be like, whoa, girl. Or, oh, it needs more. You know? Lime green in there too, because I see some lime green spots mixed in with the dark. Oil pastels are so much fun. Voila. We're gonna stay right there with that. We might come back to it and add a little details, but fresh eyes is what we need. So now I'm just gonna take this as the idea of the painting, but I'm gonna add my own fun, colorful twist to it. My grandma really loved natural, earthy tones. I'm more of a vibrant girl. So thanks, Grandma, but we're gonna just do our own thing with it. I love this cornflower blue. I'm gonna tie in the blue that I have with the radishes over here with this vase. And I'm just gonna do an outline for my vase. And again, I want my lines to feel really like childlike and playful, so none of the widths are the same. They're a bit wobbly. Maybe I'll have a little roundness here that I show. But my lines are playful. They're not perfect. And then we will do watercolor for the flowers, but it's gonna be blobs first. And then we're gonna add the detail on top once it dries. So we'll do some, looks like cherry red anemones here and there. We've got some black-eyed Susans. So we'll pop in some yellow over here with some more concrete petal shapes. I'm using the size 6 round brush and just plopping it down for those petal shapes. Maybe a little pop of yellow up here, down here, and then a darker reddish, orangey reddish in between. Blobs. And most of the green we'll save for the oil pastel, but I am gonna add a few little pops of green as my underneath. So there's our bouquet. We're gonna use this light cornflower color. It's called light blue because Neo Pastel is boring with their color names. I would call this cornflower or something. What would you call it? Let me know in the comments below. I don't know why I call it cornflower blue, but I think that's a thing. I think so. I used this letterpress company that they had cuter names for all their colors, and I'm pretty sure the blue that I really loved to use was called cornflower. So we're gonna do another little touch of this brown on the shadow, like so. Less is always more. That will come back to chairs. We'll do a light brown wash where I have the pencil. That's not very light. And then we may or may not outline it. We'll see. The wonkier, the better. So I like to get these 3 to 5 like hero illustrations or paintings, whatever you want to call it, done first. And then I start to plug in my fonts and my little like quotes and stuff and other little filler illustrations.
Is that you giving structure to your doodles?
This is me giving structure to my doodles, but it's also just implementing a nice composition formula. I talk a lot about composition formulas in the Art Within, my course that's a deep dive in developing your style as an artist. And when you are trying to create movement in a painting, or whether it's a flat lay like this, where there's a bunch of different elements, you wanna create a zigzag or an S shape or some sort of formula to where you want eyeballs to go when people are looking at your piece, or you're just yourself looking at your piece. And so having everything dead center is just gonna land people's eyes dead center, and they're gonna not really know where else to go. It kind of creates a disjointed flow with when people are looking at the painting. So I like to place things in odd numbers so that eyeballs, you keep them guessing. They are gonna wanna look for the next pair, but they can't find it because it's an odd number. Sorry for shouting, future Rachel. Future Rachel's gonna be like, ah!
The number two, doing odd is better than.
Yeah, that's where rule of thirds comes from. Why I talk about, you know, quadrants and S shape. That zigzag just kind of naturally gives you an odd number in itself, the curve of the S or the Z. But odd numbers, because eyes are trained to look for pairs. So when you give them something that's going to keep them like on you know, a cliffhanger, that keeps them looking at your painting, searching for that sixth element or that fourth element that they could pair with the 3 or the 5. So we've got a little smudgy smudge down here that we'll cover up with something. All right, so I'm waiting for these 2 bits to dry, and then I'm gonna add shadow and more detail down here. But now we're gonna get into fonts, and I am gonna put something up here probably. I might do another, maybe some strawberries. Strawberries always remind me. Strawberries and strawberry jam always remind me of grandma's. I don't know why. So doing a pink base for my strawberry because I want to be different. Can't be like everybody else. Pinky and orangey. Strawberry, strawberry. I love strawberries. So we've got a couple strawberries just hanging out over here. When they dry, we'll add detail. And then I'm gonna do a jam, a can of jam. And I want it to be in fun colors, so I'm gonna do a glass outline. Remember, the wonkier the better. Little ovals inside. And then our top is gonna be that red lattice pattern that you see on those like old school grandma jam cans. How do I wanna do this? Pause and visualize. Maybe smell the air. Cans, what do they look like? What do cans look like? I can't remember what cans look like. Here's the rim and the top, and we'll just do a simple lattice pattern, like so, and a blue shadow will go in the same direction. Jam. I wish there was a label on there. Can I squeeze a label in here somehow? Jam. I'll just write jam. And this is where we just start adding elements to our fun, what's it called? Visual journal. Doing a little serif font. Up, down is thick, up is thin. And the wonkier, the better. We'll do strawberry. Oh, that's a long word. Strawberry, strawberry. This is a brush pen, Pigma FB Sakura brush pen. So on all the downstrokes, I put pressure, upstrokes, I release pressure, down, straw. I started off as a pointed pen calligrapher my business was addressing envelopes for wedding invitations and then eventually designing wedding invitations with my own fonts. Strawberry. So lettering is kind of how it all began. Strawberry. Let's kind of incorporate these two together somehow. So I'll just kind of do that. So it's like strawberry jam. And then these are still drying. Let's do the flowers next. Ooh, sun is coming out. We need stems. We need black centers for black-eyed Susans. And for our anemones. I always mess that up. Yeah, but there's a sea creature and there's a flower, and they're just 2 letters or 3 letters off. Anemones. I feel like in Finding Nemo when he's like, anemone. Okay, let's see. What's some fun things that I could write about? Grandma. Grandma's kitchen. Grandma is nice. Grandma. Oh, yeah. Oh. Ooh, a plate would be fun too. Let's do a plate. I got sidetracked. So we're gonna do a wonky blue and white plate, vintage, like ditzy style. So I'm gonna outline it with blue. We're using this blue a lot. Maybe we'll put strawberries in the middle. And then we're just gonna do like little flower shapes for a simple pattern where you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, I know what that is. That's a plate. But it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be realistic. In fact, it's better if it's not. That makes it feel more playful and like we're playing with art supplies at Grandma's house. And a darker blue. Then we'll do peaches. Ooh, should we do peach? I think we're gonna do peaches. Sliced peaches up in here. Peach number 1. Peach number 2. Peach number 3 will be pointing the other way. And then orange. Oh! The gate opened. Orange for the bottoms and on the top where the little pit goes. That is so cute. And a reddish brown. Cute. I really like doing colored pencil for shadows. I don't know why I didn't do that up here, but we're gonna do little blue. We're just bringing in that blue everywhere. I don't know why, but this blue is my favorite. It also reminds me of my grandma. It's a good, like, grandma color for some reason. So these shadows are all going in the same direction. And we'll have a little shadow under the peaches with this colored pencil. And then last little bits, I'm gonna add dashes with oil pastel on my strawberry with this dark scarlet. So you're like, oh, strawberry. And because they're like perfectly placed on purpose, it makes it even more playful and whimsical. So do it on purpose, you know? If you're gonna do it on purpose. And then we'll add green. Scribble. 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 Cutest strawberries you ever did see. Now, all I have to do now is just kind of fill this in with lettering and little bits like quotes and maybe some small flowers. I'll do some flowers up here with this blue as the center. I love doing blue in the center or orange in the center, and then outlines with a micron pen or something. And I'll just do these simple round shapes. Maybe even go around the blue center with a little bit of black. Off the page. Intersecting is so fun. And overlapping the spine is fun too. It's just awkward. Okay, and we'll do the boop, 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 boop. Ta-da! Green. We're almost done, Rochelle. That's nice. Nice. And shoot, I need to write something. Oh, I'll add a dark shadow to the chair to show this is a lip. Yeah. Oh, I got a good one. Fields of Gold. I played that song at my grandmother's funeral. It was her favorite song, Fields of Gold by Sting, I think. Pretty sure. You'll remember me. That song. When the west wind moves. I love that song. So I'll write that right here. Ooh, it's starting to get toasty with an outliner pen. That hopefully works. Among the fields barley, you'll walking fields of gold. You'll remember. That's a long word. We're gonna do that in cursive so that it's faster. Mixing fonts together. You'll remember me. I love this type of font too, where it's just every stroke is looks like a section of tape. Me. It's very playful and fun to mix in with cursive font, like calligraphy. You'll remember me when the west wind moves. And then maybe I'll write something over here that's in cursive. Doing cursive almost in a way like I would do it if I was in 4th grade. You know? Childhood. All in one page, from the style of lettering to what you write to what you paint and draw, every little bit of it. And I'm just thickening the downstrokes to add contrast and to make that lettering really pop. Grandma's. Ooh, it is toasty. Almost done. You'll remember me. That's too long. I'm just gonna write fields of gold. Gone. Doesn't need to be perfect, just needs to have character. And there you have it. We might do a quickie little thing over here, maybe tie in some more of these flowers, but with orange as the center. I want more contrast to the blue. So I'm gonna put orange flowers over here just to fill in these little gaps. And then we're gonna call it a day on snacks and jam at Grandma's. Snacks and jam at Grandma's.
The grandma inspo piece.
Yeah, the grandma inspo piece. There you go, thank you.
Is this your mom's mom?
Yeah, this is my mom's mom. So painting by my mom, and then little bits that remind me of my mom's mom. And my mom too. Fun way to, if you're missing someone or you wanna commemorate and remember the details about someone who's no longer with you or you maybe don't get to see very often. Great way to do it. There you have it, folks. A fun visual journal piece of snack time at Grandma's, a little memory snippets of stuff that I remember from going to my grandma's house, a couple paintings as inspo, one by my mother, who is the daughter of the grandma that we are referring to, and then also this painting inspired the little vase of flowers. But just a really fun way to experiment and play and also take you back to places that are very fond, hold a very special, near and dear place in your heart and mind. Let me know in the comments below if you joined in on this exercise, if you have a person in particular that you were kind of painting memories about. I would love to hear about it in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you in the next video.